You're watching Less Than Epic's coverage of the Overwatch League. Enjoy the show. A new head coach.
So much love for this team.
5 new players, with 4 of them being amazingly talented South Korean players.
To be alive, he did have a grappling hook cooldown, but he's used it now to increase the distance between him and Fearless. But Arrow's going to follow up. Harry Hook falls to a swift strike. Mickey in a second and a third. And Fett goes down. The Dragon Blade is brought to bear, and the Shanghai Dragons now should have this one coming.
The first Overwatch League woman and a growing fan base cheering to keep that 040 dream alive.
By Fearless, being kept alive by Ultra by the grace of the Mercy. You know what? He's going to get hooked in, taken down. Up to the next target. You better believe he's found it. Right click will do the job. The scrap can't find this mark, and the Dragons get themselves at least the map in this series.
This week on Less Than Epic, we're analyzing the new Shanghai Dragons to see if their new roster is up to the task of the Overwatch League. What's up, Internet? I'm your host, Radical Edward, and welcome back to Less Than Epic's coverage of the Overwatch League. The Shanghai Dragons have, by a wide margin, been the worst team in the Overwatch League, which has gained them sort of a cult following. In Stage 3, however, the Dragons have entirely rebuilt their roster, so I figured it was time to reassess this team and analyze how they're doing. This week, they faced off against the struggling but revamped Dallas Fuel and the revamped Los Angeles Valiant, and I think both games gave us a great look into the new Dragons. So let's start off with the good. Patience. I wanted to start off with this one because I think this was the best part of the new Dragons. In engagements that the Dragons won against both teams this week, it was because they were patient enough to take engagements in an intelligent way. This was by far the best new attribute of the Dragons, and for me a sign that this team does have the talent to compete at the Overwatch League level. The next attribute was a new off-tank. Geguri's diva play was top notch. I think the entire league was stoked to see how the first lady of the league was going to perform, and I do not think Geguri disappointed at all. We got to see her play contrasted with MG's play in the Dragons game against the Valiant, and you could definitely see a difference in how competitive the Dragons looked when Geguri was running in that off-tank slot. It's pretty clear that the Dragons are just testing stuff out, but it's also clear that the team has found their off-tank in Geguri. The next positive attribute that I had was Addo. Addo's Genji is amazing. While I do worry about Shanghai's ability to find cohesion, it's pretty clear that Addo is going to be that main DPS for the Dragons, as he is their most consistent DPS. He still has timing and communication issues with his team, but the offense from the Dragons, while running Addo and Geguri at the same time, has some serious sparks of life. Okay, so that's the good. Now let's look at the bad. They got 3-1'd and then 4-0'd, and there were a lot of reasons why. They weren't protecting their backline enough. Fearless was dying way too much, to the point where he looked like Fraggy from Stage 1. Skye and Altering keep getting out of position, which is probably because these kids look like they are pissing themselves from nerves on stage. Geguri needs to watch how deep she staggers. Their offense looks good, but their defense was seriously lacking. They were not adapting fast enough at all to something like a Sombra pick. Fearless gets baited a lot. Fearless gets baited a lot. Fearless gets baited a lot. Fearless needs to keep his fucking pants on. Dude, calm the fuck down and play with your team. You're an amazing tank, but if you're not playing with your team, you may as well just be walking up to the enemy team and diddling yourself. Damon isn't getting the job done on his DPS pick, but in all seriousness, that could be because Fearless isn't making enough space correctly. I mean, Damon is one of the best hit scans in the world on paper, so he should not be doing this bad. And finally, Shanghai is not focusing down or protecting the same targets in tense situations, which speaks to severe communication and cohesion issues. Okay, we made it through. And that's where I want to kick off my final verdict on this new Dragon lineup. It's clear, very clear, more than crystal fucking clear that the Shanghai Dragons are having communication and cohesion issues. I mean, that's not very surprising given that they have an entirely new lineup of players who speak different languages and have barely played together as it is, but it's an issue that if they don't fix it, they will never lose the title of Shanghai Shit Snakes. Despite all of these issues that Shanghai is having, I have to note that there is more of a spark of life in this new lineup than I have ever seen from Shanghai. If they can rein in Fearless's aggressive playstyle, let Geguri play off-tank 100% of the time, find a DPS that works with auto, and fix their obvious communication issues, then I think that the new Shanghai Dragons will actually be able to pull out their first win. That may sound like a lot to fix, but seriously, it's doable for these pros. It's not as large a change as you might think, and it's totally possible that throughout Stage 3, we see the Dragons patch these holes. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our analysis of the new Shanghai Dragons. If you like our coverage of the Overwatch League, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell icon, as it really helps out the channel and lets us know that you like the content. We'll be back next week with another match analysis between two amazing teams. Thanks for watching, everyone, and once again, this is Radical Edward, signing out.